Jailbreak has over 100 cars in the game, reaching from driving snow shovels to Halloween themed cars, which I don't even know how to name them, to nice looking supercars based on stuff like the Bugatti Veyron and the Koenigsegg Jesko. With how many cars there are, it can be very confusing picking the right one for you, especially for beginners, but even intermediate people can experience a lot of trouble picking what car really suits them. Now this has prompted me to make a series where I'll be going through every car to try and help you figure out what one really suits you and is the best for you. I'll be going through them and basing them on a few different topics, which will be the top speed, the acceleration, the off-roading, the handling, the seating, their customization and their availability. They'll get rated on a scale of 1 through 5 and get a final score in the end. Welcome everyone, today we're going to be making a video on the M12 Molten. As always, we're going to be starting off at the top speed, which the Molten is not amazing at, but it's also not awful. If you really push it, it will be able to hit a maximum of 259 miles, but I have yet to reach 260 with it. Based on those stats, I'm going to give it a 4, which is right in between the 300 miles an hour that gives the Torpedo or the Javelin a 5 out of 5, and the 220 miles an hour that gives something like the Roadster a 3 out of 5. Next up is the acceleration, which it scores decently well on. It isn't insane, but it's also definitely not bad. For 0 to 100 it takes 1.87 seconds, which is exactly 0.07 seconds slower than the Javelin. And for 0 to 150 miles an hour it takes 4 seconds and 3 milliseconds, which is exactly 0.03 seconds slower than the Javelin. Now, even though it's slightly slower than the Javelin in acceleration, I don't think that it's worth taking off half a point just for such a small difference. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 for the acceleration. Now onto the off-roading, where the M12 is just decent on. I think it's slightly better than Javelin is, but I also think it's slightly worse than the Torpedo. So I'm going to give it a rating right in between those two, where the Javelin got a 3 and the Torpedo got a 4, meaning that the M12 gets a 3.5 for the off-roading. Now, even though the handling on the M12 is alright, that is mainly because it's part of the cars that I'm used to driving, and as many other cars, I don't think that for beginners or people that are used to cars with very good handling that is actually that great. On top of that, the M12 has a really big hitbox where sometimes you will just drive into things when you never even touch them. As you can see here, even if we slow it down, I never hit the jewelry store, but my M12 still stopped. So for those reasons, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 for the handling. Now, like always, I won't spend too much time on the seating. It seats 2 people. Something a bit special about it is that those 2 people sit behind and in front of each other instead of next to each other. So that's just a little fun fact about it. But like always, 2 seats means a 3 out of 5. Now the M12 has exactly 1 less customization option than the Javelin does, being able to have 2 body colors but not 2 textures, and the rest being the same as well. Now the Javelin got a 3.5, and even though it's only a difference of 1 cosmetic option, that does make quite a difference, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 for the customization. Now the M12 is limited, and on average you will usually see people asking around 10 million for it, which makes it decently hard to get but not impossible. I think I'm going to give it a 2.5, since I think 10 million is right the median of some of the cheapest vehicles and some of the most expensive vehicles. Now if we count up all of the scores from all of the different categories, we got a total of 22.5 points out of the 35 points that it could have gotten, meaning it's going to get about a 3.2 out of 5. I hope you all enjoyed, and until next time.